Hello everybody, my name is Ala Hamdi. In such a presentation we will talk about risk assessment in construction projects. As we know, the risk is a complex subject with several components which shall be taken into account during risk study. Moreover, the construction projects are very sensitive and exposed to many risks which affecting the project cost, time, quality, and etc. So, we are going to focus on four techniques of risk assessment: qualitative risk, fault tree analysis, Monte Carlo simulation, and AHP method. It is important to highlight that without such techniques of risk assessment, there will not be any preventive measurements against the risks facing the construction projects. The risk is an uncertain event that impacts the project objectives, whether negative or positive, and the construction projects have a lot of uncertainty in its nature. So the application of risk management became a vital issue nowadays. The construction projects have a lot of risks and we will not be able to apply all of them or to take all of them into account. So risk assessment helps us to answer the two main questions. First, what is the consequences of risk? Second, what is the probability of such risk? Many techniques are used in risk assessment as we said before, and each technique is suitable for all construction projects. But based on the collected data, the suitable technique will be chosen. So this literature will review the aforementioned four different techniques and will illustrate their methods of application.
Hello, my name is Mohammed Abdel Salam, and I will discuss qualitative risk analysis in our project. There are main methods that are used in qualitative risk analysis, including Delphi method, brainstorming method, scenarios method, and risk rating matrices method. The first method is Delphi method, which is based on the knowledge of an expert representing different areas of a project. So the company can depend this on a staff member or can assign a consultant by outsourcing. This method is based on main assumptions that the experts have no communication or can't contact with each other to avoid affecting each other's opinion. Experts receive a questionnaire and they are required to fill this questionnaire according to what they find most likely will happen. The second method is a brainstorming method. This method was created by Osborne. Uh, this method involves, in particular, assembling a group of people who are presented in a specific problem, and they are required to solve this problem. These people express their ideas of how to solve this problem until they come up with an idea that can be suitable for the project and write it down. The final stage, a host needs to sum all the collected ideas and conducting an analysis to evaluate all of them. The basic assumption behind the brainstorming method is the fact that even the most unrealistic ideas cannot be categorized during this discussion. The third method is scenarios method. This method involves construction of a number of scenarios. These scenarios describe the future or the potential future of the company. These scenarios can be categorized in the main three categories. Number one is best case scenario. Second one is neutral scenarios. The third is worst case scenarios. These scenarios are described in drawing tables or event trees. The event trees method, for example, it can be in a graph like a shape or a tree, which represents the most important alternative events in the chronological order together with their likelihood. The last method is risk rating matrices method. This method identifies risk and places them on a coordinate system. This coordinate system consists of two main axes. One axis shows the likelihood of an risk event, and the second one shows the consequence that can happen if this risk occurred in the company. By placing every risk separately on a coordinate system, we have to specify its size and the size of its likelihood and size of its consequence. This size can be determined on our own, but the simplest scale is 3 degree, low, moderate, and high. Uh, and that's all.
Hello everyone, my name is Ahmed Abdallah. I will explain fault tree analysis method as it is a method for risk assessment. Fault tree analysis is a top-down deductive using failure analysis in which an undesired state of a system is analyzed using Boolean logic to combine a series of lower level things. This analysis method is mainly used to understand how system can fail to identify the best ways to reduce risk. Fault tree analysis description is basically composed of logic diagrams that display the state of the system and is constructed using graphical design techniques. Fault tree analysis can be used to perform two types of analysis: qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis. Analysis produces a graphical Boolean description of factors or events leading to failure top event. Each event is connected to an upper level event by OR and gates and so on. Fault tree analysis steps. We have 4 steps in fault tree analysis. Step 1 is definition of the system. The definition expresses the relation between different elements of the system. Step 2 construct fault tree. Reason involved in occurrence of the top event, which are called mediator event, should be determined in each step. Mediator event lead to a top events and the reasons of their occurrence are examined. Step 3 qualitative analysis. It is performed to measure minimal card sets using equation as mentioned in our paper. Step 4 qualitative analysis of fault tree is performed in order to measure the probability of occurrence of the top event using equation. Fault tree analysis history. Fault tree was first introduced by Watson in 1961 to evaluate the safety of the Minuteman launch control system. Fault tree analysis in construction industry. We have this study research to gain understanding of risk factors that impact on a construction project performance in terms of cost, time, and quality. In this study, fault tree model has been developed for cost, time, and quality. The main results of this research was determination of severity and allocation of the risk factors which affect on cost, time, and quality. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Ahmed Khattab. I will start with you with Monte Carlo simulation. Monte Carlo simulation is a model which imitates real life system, and it was developed on the USA Manhattan Project during the Second World War, where we will start with general concept or general definition to understand the Monte Carlo simulation system. A system is a real life thing we want to simulate it, and it is defined as an interaction or interrelation component that working together to achieve some objectives. A model may be physical or mathematical. Physical is built with physical material. Mathematical built using equation. Equation may be probability equation. It's and we call it stochastic, or functions we call it deterministic. Event is something that happened and changes the system state. The main component of the system we call it entity, and the descriptive information for this entity is called attribute, and it's very important to describe the entity. In this slide, we will go through the steps we need to get the simulation model. The first step is the problem statement. Here we need to clarify and state the problem and the objective of the simulation is the question that the simulation will answer or the model will answer. System analysis, here we need to decompose the system into the main component and define the event and the entity and the attribute. Model building, the model must be simpler but in appropriate complexity and represent the real world system to some degree of accuracy. Model translation, the model translation, here we will translate model into computer program. Verification and validation, this step we will verify if the model represents the real world and validate the outputs of the model. The uses of the Monte Carlo simulation. Monte Carlo simulation in risk assessment used as a quantitative risk assessment technique that need exact data from historical reports, so it used in many cases in cost calculation and time calculation on these. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Kamal. I hereby represent the analytically hierarchy process AHP. AHP is a tool for managing qualitative and quantitative multi-criteria elements involving in decision making. The AHP considers a set of evaluation criteria and a set of alternative options among which the best decision is to be made. The AHP works by create a hierarchy of the problem, like decisions, criterion, and options, and then generate weights for each evaluation criterion and assign score to each option with respect to each criteria. Combine the criteria weights and option score to get rankings of option and best decisions. To implement the AHP, you have to follow the following steps. First step is computing the vector of criteria weights by creating pairwise comparison matrix AMM. Normalize the matrix A and generate matrix A norm, averaging each row of matrix A norm to get criteria weight vector W. Second step is computing the matrix of options scores by creating pairwise comparison matrix PNN. Normalize the matrix B and generate matrix B norm for each option, averaging each row of matrix B norm for each option to get score vector SI for each criteria. Then creating score matrix S contains the scores of all options with respect to criteria. Third step is ranking the options by obtaining global score vector V by multiply matrix S and vector W. Then ranking the option by ordering the global scores in decreasing order to get the best decision. Final step is checking the consistency. The result of the AHP are dependent on how close the eigenvalue that is calculated is to the perfect value. This closeness is affected by the degree to which the matrix A is consistent or transitive.
Ala Hamdi is talking again. Finally, and in the light of the aforementioned, we can raise that it is important for each project manager to study, understand, and to be aware with the different techniques of risk assessment, in addition to the knowledge of advantage, disadvantage, and the conditions of using each technique. Therefore, each project manager can make the right and accurate decision, the matter which will be reflected on the main three aspects: cost, time, and quality. Thank you.